either into Karnataka or Maharashtra.
Right.
Because they have got very vast coast. Both Karnataka as well as Maharashtra.
Right.
And our coast is very limited. Okay. Within 2-3 hours we are on the borders, on either side. Okay. And we are fishing for 10 days, 15 days now. So situation is quite precarious. And
No, it's a serious problem, and no one seems, because it is a common resource. You know, it's that nobody owns the fish.
fortunately, the marine resources, all, if you take proper care, they are replenishable. We can replenish.
So now there's strict quotas in Europe, in Canada.
You know,
There's
Frederick,
quota on cod fishing.
Only we have to be a little patient, give time.
It happened to codfish,
Codfish, salmon, lobsters. The lobster industry is still there, but there's only maybe one or 2 months that they're allowed to trap lobsters, and they have like police or whatever they are on the docks checking the fish, and they get fined if they bring in fish that are too small, too much. And what happens sometimes is they catch more than they need, and then they dump it in the sea. That's even worse. You know, they're afraid they're going to get caught, so they dump it. And better to have somebody eat it than, you know. But the cod fishery, I think it's been 12 years at least that those in Canada. You know, this is off the Outer Banks, the famous fishing areas, Newfoundland and Nova Scotia and that whole area. And even I was talking to some Newfie fishermen when we were there a couple of years ago, and they said, "We did it. You know, we know we overfished. We just thought it was an abundant supply that would never stop." And they check and they check for quotas, but the fish have not come back that well, and it's still 12 years. And there's a number of reasons for that. Part of it just, you know, depletion that takes stocks to build up longer. There's a lot of ships coming illegally. Canadian Coast Guard is always chasing ships from Spain and Portugal and very Russian ships, I think now, and they're factory fish just out off the 200-mile limit. And the other thing is, I read, and it finally made sense to me. I thought, why aren't they coming back? Bycatch. It turns out that the Canadian government has allowed fishers to, if they catch them inadvertently as part of something else and they're in their nets, they're allowed to bring them back. And there's I don't know how many, I don't know if there are even any statistics, how much cod is being overfished through the bycatch. So there are all kinds of ways to get around, because people are trying to make a living. Yeah, and it's a serious problem. I always thought aquaculture would be, and it is in part a solution, if it's done responsibly. You know, we have farmed salmon on the West Coast. Salmon, you know, the northern or the North American Atlantic waters, Pacific, they tend to have a huge amount of one species, like sole or